From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OU Update with Ryan Aber. I'm Jenny Carlson. Ryan, Sooners headed to Lawrence, Kansas to face the Kansas Jayhawks earlier this week, and like a lot of teams that go to Allen Fieldhouse, walked away with a loss, watched Kansas win their 10th consecutive Big 12 championship, an unbelievable run, but really stayed in a game that could have gotten out of hand. They hung in there.
Yeah, they had a couple opportunities where the game could have turned into a blowout. They were down 11, 5 minutes in. Kansas had a big run, a 10-0 run to end the half that put them up 9 at the break, and you felt like that they had a chance to roll over then. But they kept clawing and scratching back, took the lead in the second half with Cameron Clark and Ryan Spengler both on the bench, but in the end couldn't get a couple defensive stops in the last couple minutes of the game that led to Kansas winning. But OU fought as well as anybody has in the Big 12 all year in Lawrence, which is obviously the toughest place in the Big 12.
Well, and the Kansas Bigs, I think, were the thing that when you looked at this matchup had to be of the biggest concern to the Sooners, because they do have so many guys that are, legitimate type of big men, which if you look at who the Sooners will play next in Texas, sort of a similar problem. Is that a concern, or does Oklahoma feel good about this matchup?
Well, it's certainly something to look at, but I'll tell you, Lon Kruger and the rest of their coaching staff were really pleased about how the Bigs played at Kansas. They did a good job of doubling down in the post when Embiid and those other big guys got down there. Now those guys were able to find outlets on the outside and hit outside shots with the guards, but they were pretty pleased with the game plan going in, and I think that's going to be pretty similar this weekend against Texas with Cameron Ridley and Jonathan Holmes and all those other bigs that Texas rolls out there. And certainly we watched Ridley last night against Baylor, and he was a big factor against the Bears.
Well, and this Texas game, obviously a big game because it's OU Texas. It's senior day for a limited number, but still some seniors on this Sooner team. But seeding, Ryan, we're getting towards the end of the regular season. Seeding in both the Big 12 and NCAA tournament becomes important. Where does this game play into that?
Well, I think, first of all, starting with the Big 12 tournament, it gives OU, would give them the tiebreaker over both Texas and Iowa State when you're talking about the Big 12 seeding. Now, they need Iowa State to lose a game. They need K-State to lose a game. But both those schools have really tough schedules to close. And OU's gets lighter as it goes on with West Virginia at home on Wednesday, and then to close the Big 12 season at TCU. So they've still got an excellent chance at that number 2 spot, which is a really prime position and could lead to battle number 3 because you're playing a team that is coming off a game the day before, and you get a bye in the first round as well. So they certainly want that 2 spot. And as far as the NCAA tournament, I think right now they're right at the cusp of a 6 or a 7. I think they can bump themselves up if they can finish 3-0, and certainly it starts at Texas, and that's their most difficult one. They can bump up into that 5 spot, which is good, 5-12, and then you've got a 4-5 in the second round if you're fortunate enough to get there, or could even get up to a 4 spot, I think, if they win out and do some damage in the tournament. So certainly they want to stay away from that 7 through 10 seedings because of your first round matchup and your second round matchup, but they've still certainly got those things ahead of them.
Lots to play for the Sooners. Thanks, Ryan. Sure, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.